Alright, Ronan MMA, welcome back to the channel. I'm sure you've noticed there's something up on the screen there, and yes, we are going to talk about it. I've seen a lot of people do videos on this, so I'm sure you were probably all heard by now, but I want to go over this statement. I want to give my take on it. Again, if you're not aware, Jeff Molina had a video leaked of him on the internet, on Twitter, I believe it was, and then it was swiftly removed. No, I have not gone out and watched the video because I'm not Jeff Molina, okay? And also, I don't need to. I've seen people confirm it and stuff like that, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm good, dude. I want to go over his statement, and then I want to give my thoughts and opinions on, the matter, because I think that this is a story that has it all. It's got comedy, for sure. It's comedic. There's humorous parts of it, right? It's got lament, I'm sure, on the part of Jeff Molina. It's got treachery, perhaps, which Jeff Molina clearly hasn't noticed, and I'll get into that in a little bit, and, just drama all around. And so it's a fun story. I'm in a good mood because it's fight day, so I can't fucking wait to watch fights, and I figured it would be a fun video to do. So I'm going to start by reading off his statement. I'm going to try and not give commentary until the very end. I want to just get through his statement so that I don't lose where I'm at, so that it can be a smooth transition, okay? Start off. Well, this fucking sucks. Okay. TLDR. I'm a old guy, so I don't know what that means, but he says I'm bi, okay? Not the way I wanted to do this, but the chance to do it when I was ready was taken from me. I've tried to keep my dating life private from social media. I've dated girls my whole life and suppressed feelings I had throughout high school being on the wrestling team. Throughout college, pursuing MMA, and even after making part of the dream happen and getting into the UFC. I'm a pretty masculine dude, and that broy banter and sus sense of humor has always been how I am. I seriously doubt that, but okay. The thought of my buddies, teammates, and the people I look up to, looking at me different, let alone treating me different for something I can't control, was something I could not fathom. In a sport like this, where a majority of the fans being the homophobic cocksuckers they are, I didn't see myself doing. I can't even keep a straight face reading that sentence. I didn't see myself doing this during the part of my career. I wanted to be known for my skills and what I've dedicated the last 11 years of my life to, and not the, quote, by UFC fighter, unquote, that I'm sure would just be translated to the, quote, gay UFC fighter, end quote. Okay, now he did this dumb as shit, so I've got to go down and find where, okay. To the awful, disturbed person that decided to post this ish, I hope it was worth it. At the end of the day, I know my character, morals, and who I am as a person. As much as I'm getting hated / shit on, bro, come on, use proper fucking grammar. That's not shitted this. And I'm getting an equal amount of support, and it means a fuck ton. Last but not least, pardon me, at Ben the Bane Davis, you a freak. Okay, now let's just get this off the screen. And I'm going to pull my notes up, okay? We're going to go over a few key moments, all right? And also, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I would greatly appreciate it. First off, he used fucking very strange choice of words multiple times. He starts it off with, "Welp, this sucked," okay? Strange choice of words, Jeff, And I just realized reading it to you guys again that getting shitted on. You could have just said getting shit on. He may not have the vocabulary. If I was in this predicament, though, where I got caught doing what I opened up with, I might have used a term like, "Well, this is unfortunate," or something along those lines. Now, maybe he's just a comedic genius and we're all not aware, but I really don't think that that's the case, okay? The next quote, I've dated girls my whole life and suppressed feelings I had throughout high school being on the wrestling team. Okay. And this is specifically why, like, people would view you differently. If you were going to come out, you may have not wanted to say that part, because you're basically admitting that while you were training with your wrestling team, that you were having feelings like that. And I think that that's why, like, it's weird as a guy to roll with a girl, because it's almost impossible to not think about. So if you're attracted to someone, like it just makes it weird. And now you saying that out loud, every single one of your training partners is going to have that idea put in the back of their head. Like they may not have, right? Until you said that, but okay. The next quote, I'm a pretty masculine dude, and that broy banter and sus sense of humor has always been how I am. I feel like that's a lie, dude, because if you don't remember, he wore the pride shorts last year, and people were like giving him shit for it or whatever. And I feel like he's incapable of taking jokes or even criticism or anything like that, because to him, all the people that make jokes like that are homophobes. Right? So it's cool when he makes jokes, but not cool when others do. Okay. Also, I just want to reiterate, dude. Or, pardon me, he continued to reiterate on that press conference, or at that press conference, that he was, in fact, a heterosexual man. He said that he was straight multiple times, that he just wanted to stand for what was right, or whatever. But, okay, dude. And also, dude, to reiterate, myself this time, I don't give a fuck what anybody does in their own bedroom. I think that the vast majority of people that have a problem with the pride flag being shown everywhere in that month of June is not anything to do with the first three letters. Now, maybe I'm in the minority here, I don't know, but I think that they should axe that fucking acronym right after the B. Yeah. Right after the B, okay? Because I think that the other letters are the ones that have been cramming the shit down our throats, so to speak, which is what I don't like, okay? Because I'm not Jeff Molina. So when people get irritated by the fucking pride flag being everywhere, it is not because they hate gay people. And you can't even really make that claim when you then have allowed your acronym to become so long that they just have to have a fucking plus at the end. Okay? And also, you got a bunch of ones up there that don't mean shit. Like, bro, fuck off. Okay? I don't hate gay people. I'm sick of your fucking flag being crammed down my throat at every goddamn moment. It's annoying. Okay, next quote. In a sport like this, where a majority of the fans being homophobic cocksuckers, Jeff Molina, first of all, to blanket, again, the Keon Kimura thing, dude, you're blanketing a majority of a fan base, which, like, the UFC, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, dude, has like 30 million followers on fucking Instagram. I don't even know what their Twitter looks like. You're going to say that over 15 million of those people are homophobic because you're getting made fun of online, even though you allegedly have this broy sus sense of humor that you like to fucking joke around about? Get fucked, guy, okay? Because I would argue that most people are not and don't give a shit. Again, it's the end of that acronym that annoy people the most, I think. And also, dude, the only people, or not the only people, but a big chunk of the people that are actually, like, unironically not cool with the activities that Jeff Molina would be participating in are of a certain religion that you can't even call out, otherwise you're considered another phobic, which is why the whole ultra progressive ideology is riddled with holes like Swiss cheese, okay? Because you have to be accepting of all of these, not everybody's view, because Christians don't count. They don't count Christians in their progressive ideology, but you're supposed to be okay with let's just say it, Muslims. Okay, and I don't know if any of you are aware of this. I'm sure you are, because I know you're all smart people. The Christian stance on homosexuals is a lot lighter than Islam's stance on homosexuals, okay? So, you gotta call it out, Jeff Molina. Otherwise, you're being a pussy. And I know you don't like that, but it is what it is, dude. Also, for you to call us, or the fans that you perceive to be homophobic cocksuckers, you must be out of your fucking mind, my guy. Either he is truly a comedic genius and we are not seeing it, or his brain is too small to come up with other words. He could have came up with so many other words, I'm sure of it. I'm surprised he didn't just straight up call us all bigots. But To call UFC fans cocksuckers when that video of you casting spells with another man's wand released is a little strange, to say the least, okay? But it is what it is. Also, that homophobic word, dude, if y'all want it to have some fucking actual meaning, you need to stop broadening the definition, because eventually it comes to a point where a word's definition is so broad that it literally just means fucking anything. And, you know, originally, what it would mean, or is supposed to mean, is like an irrational fear of whatever word is at the fucking front of it. I don't have that, and I'm sure a lot of other people don't have that. Now, you guys, again, like I said, have broadened the definition so that anybody even making a joke, like me as a straight person making a joke, would be perceived as homophobic. But you're allowed to make those same jokes, right? Because you participate in those activities. So anyways, you know, it is what it is. And dude, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Again, like, I could give a fuck less what anyone does in their spare time as long as they are not causing direct harm to another sovereign individual. I just don't want to hear about it, man. Honestly, for Christ's sakes, like, I'm not trying to offend anyone, dude. But if you lick like a lollipop, like the Lil Wayne song or whatever, it is what it is, dude. I don't want to fucking hear about it, though, because I'm not gay, okay? And Jeff Molina, the reason why you saying that bi UFC fighter would be translated into a gay one, I think perhaps if he was on the receiving end of that activity that was taking place, he may be able to get away with the whole bi thing. But considering he was the one doing it, it's a little harder to argue. And the reason why most people, or maybe not most people, but the reason why a large swath of people would just call that gay is because that is by definition a homosexual act, okay? There is two people in that video, or, well, one person and then some of another. Two people. And they are both of the same sex, right? There's no girl there. So what you guys are participating in right now is a homosexual activity, okay? Which means I wouldn't call you bi, especially not in that instance, at least not for that fucking, you know, not for the time that you were there spending with Ben the Bane Davis, okay? Now, I also want to touch on this a little bit because, look, I think it is wrong that somebody would post this online, without consent, that is, obviously. And I think that if this was a female in Jeff Molina's position, we would probably take it a lot more seriously, and it may be slightly less comical. Now, I'll tell you that if it was a guy eating a girl out and he was doing some cringe shit like motorboating or like sticking his tongue where it's not supposed to go, not in the little man in the boat, you know what I mean? I would make fun of him all the same. But, okay, there's a big but here. And not the one that Jeff Molina was using, but the reason why I don't just... I think Jeff Molina's a little bit to blame here. And I'll tell you why, okay? And people don't like these kind of conversations because it's uncomfortable, but like whenever somebody tries to give women advice on how not to get, you know, forcefully fornicated, just for the sake of not saying the R word, right? Obviously, forcefully fornicated, I think that's a good term. So, they will try to give them advice, and then they will be accused of victim shaming or saying that it's the woman's fault. I don't think that that's fair, because there are steps that you can take that can lower your chances of having certain things happen to you, and that goes for almost everything. And just because somebody's trying to give you that advice, they're not saying that you're at fault. Obviously, the person doing the action is at fault, but there are still things that you could do to protect yourself. And you know, I learned this the hard way, dude. I got jumped horribly when I was 14 years old, and I went and I mean, dude, honestly, all of the things that you would think that could protect you from not getting jumped, like, they were all in play this day anyway, so there wasn't much I could take away from it, but I did still take away certain things, and to this day, I do certain things, even though, you know, as an adult male, I will probably, it's just, it is what it is. There are certain steps you can take in almost any situation to lower the chances of something bad happening to you, okay? And if you were a man like Jeff Molina, who does not want to be found out. And for those of you who are going to say, well, he shouldn't have to keep it a secret. Don't care, because he said he did. Okay? So I'm going based off of his own words. If you are somebody who wants to keep it a secret, there are steps that you can take that would allow that secret to not come out, right? And I'm sure that one of those major steps might be not allowing somebody to film you bobbing for apples. Okay? I think that's a pretty big step you could take. If you are somebody who does not want a secret out, don't let somebody film you playing with a Roblox villager's face, okay? And the only reason I know what a Roblox villager looks like is because I have a 6-year-old. So, if you don't know, look it up and you'll understand why I'm saying that. Which brings me to another point. You allowed the man whose sea cucumber was in frame to film this action. Then you say to the horrible, disturbed, whatever the fuck you called him, person who decided to leak this, I hope it was worth it. Why is nobody going after Ben the Bane Davis? I don't know why I want to keep calling him Big Ben Davis, but Ben the Bane Davis. It's a bit of a tongue twister. Why are you not going after him? Right? If he's the one with the camera and the object, why the fuck are you not going after him, my guy? There's one dude that had that video. Either he had to have given it to somebody, he posted it anonymously himself, or that's basically the only two options. Or somebody, this is highly unlikely, that somebody broke into his home, specifically stole his cell phone just to find this video so that he could post it or whatever. Like, or even if somebody, even if a rando picked up his phone off the street, they would have had to have been a UFC fan that also is not just a fucking casual, because if you're a casual fan, you have no idea who Jeff Molina is before yesterday. Okay. And also, dude, to anybody getting upset at me making jokes about this shit, enough. If you want equality, then everybody gets to made fun of equally. And I know people get butthurt about this shit. And no, I don't mean in the way that Jeff Molina may like to get butthurt, but emotionally butthurt. And if you want your group or whatever to be like a sacred cow that is not allowed to be made fun of, then you are by definition making yourself not equal. You are trying to put yourself above others. So get fucked, okay? And whichever way you like, that's fine, dude. But yeah, anyways, I still can't believe that he says whoever the person was that leaked it, when the guy you're performing the act on, right? The man's wand that you are using to cast spells with, demon spells, is the one filming. You should probably be going after him. Okay. And I just want to reiterate something also before, because you have to give a bunch of caveats in videos like this, because people are whiny bitches, okay? I don't give a fuck what anybody does in the bedroom. Like, I could literally give a fuck less, which is actually why I'm so sick of hearing about it, dude. I wouldn't, if one of my friends, right, who's got like a fat wife, or even like, I don't know, even a wife that I found attractive, dude, I would, and he started telling me shit, like kinks that they do in the bedroom or fucking whatever they do, I would be like, dude, enough, you know, that's your wife, I've got my, like, you know, enough, bro, okay, I don't want to think about you guys doing that shit, it's just fucking gross to me all around, and it's weird that people like, oh yeah, dude, I did this with my fucking wife last night, like, no, I don't want to hear about it, and I definitely don't want to hear about you fucking, you know, doing what you did. And that doesn't make anybody fucking a bigot or anything like that. Like, I just, seriously. And also, again, like, I feel like he's partially to blame. At first, I felt really bad. I was like, this sucks, because he didn't want to be found out and whatever. I assumed that he didn't know that the video was being filmed. After seeing a screenshot, I knew that he knew, okay? And I haven't seen the video because I don't want to, right? I don't like the same kind of stuff Jeff Molina likes, but he is somewhat to blame here. You shouldn't be allowing that to be filmed if you didn't want that to come out. And yeah, again, dude, the reason why people are annoyed at the pride flag is not because they're homophobic or bigots or cocksuckers. Jeff, that's you, okay? We just don't like shit down our throats, which I know, again, you do, but that's okay. I don't, so stop cramming it down our throat. These are my thoughts on this situation. I hope it wasn't too clunky or anything like that. It's a bit of a minefield. I saw Jesse on Fire deleted his video on it before I even had a chance to watch it. I was like, why would you delete that, you pussy? But it is what it is. Yeah, like and subscribe. Fight start in like 3 hours, so fucking let's go, dude. Super stoked on that. Anyways, see you tomorrow morning for my reaction video to UFC 286. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.